Here are the essential tools that you need for coding with AI in 2026, and I guarantee that you are missing at least 3 of them. AI coding has completely changed how we build software, but most developers are still using the wrong tools for it. So today I'm sharing with you my complete AI coding setup, but before we dive into it, let's first hear from today's sponsor. You know how running a software business means also you are running a mini accounting firm. Taxes in 30 countries, failed payments, churn eating up your MRR while you sleep. No one signed up for this. So Cream is a merchant of record. They handle all the payment and tax stuff. Cool, but here's the part that's actually mind-blowing. From day one, their entire platform was built for AI agents to plug into. You can pair it with your OpenClaw, and now you've got something watching your store that never sleeps. You drop a Cream skill file into your OpenClaw agent, connect the CLI, and done. It can ping you on Slack, Discord, Telegram, or wherever you want. Their CLI is wild too. Products, subscriptions, refunds, analytics, your agent handles the whole store from the terminal. And honestly, the setup is incredibly fast. Cream's docs and APIs were designed for agents to read, not just humans. Look, if you're selling software online right now and you're still the one checking manually if the payments went through, that's the money you're already losing. Links are down below and go play around with it. Tool number 1 is a smart terminal. Problem with regular terminals is that they're really not created for this AI era. Here you can see Ghosty, and inside of my OrcDev project I can run Claude code, for example. Then I can split the tab right here to run another Claude agent, and for another project I would open a new tab. So here we could go, for example, to 8-bit-cn and I would run Claude here. So you would have a bunch of projects and it would look like this inside of your Ghosty or some other regular terminal, and this is really not easy to follow up. You don't have a clue what's happening actually, what are your agents doing, because you don't have any notifications, and here it is really hard to explore through all the tabs that you have inside of your terminal. My recommendation is to use cmux. This is a fork of Ghosty, it's fully open source and free, and we have here some things that are really making our lives easier. First difference that you can see is this left sidebar right here. Those are our workspaces. So let's try to recreate exactly the same thing like in Ghosty. How would I do it? For OrcDev, I'm going to open a new workspace on Command N, and then here I would go to my OrcDev project. I am going to rename this workspace to OrcDev so I can easily just click here to my workspace and I'm going directly to that project. Then here we can, for example, run pm dev to run our local environment, and I'm going to open a new tab for our Claude agent. So here we have our agent, then I'm going to open on Command D to split up here my tab, and here I can run another Claude agent. Now here I can open a new tab on this half of my terminal, and I can open a new tab right here. So this is how I organize things. I think it is beautiful. It is much easier to understand everything. Then for 8-bit-cn we would just do the same thing. So opening up a new here workspace, and I'm going to 8-bit-cn, and I would just rename this one to 8-bit-cn, and we would know exactly where we are, so we are not confused and we don't have to hunt for our tabs up here. Then for the notifications part, I'm just going to say here to Claude, send me simple Pong, and Claude is going to answer with Pong, and we are going to get the notification right here. So you can see here I have my Pong notification, and the beautiful thing about it is if we are, for example, here on our 8-bit-cn project and I go to notifications and click here, we are going directly to that agent in OrcDev that finished his task. So that's the beautiful thing about it, and this is really the feature that I'm using the most, and that's why I love cmux. Second tool is an AI coding agent that is not forcing you to be locked in into one AI model. And we can see an example of that in Claude Code. Here, if we want to use some other model, we can choose only Anthropic models, because Claude Code is a product made by Anthropic. So we need an AI coding agent that that can use any model we want. And my recommendation, fully open source and free, is OpenCode. OpenCode can work in multiple sessions, meaning multiple agents working at the same time, and it has all the context you need about your project and wherever you are using it. And if we check here the models command, we can use any model we want. So we can use both Claude Slopus 4.6 and GPT 5.4 without any problem. We just need to give here our own API key, and that's it. You can also use Google, Gemini, or whatever else you need, so you have all the models inside of one AI coding agent. There are many things how to solve this one. You could also do it through OpenClaw. There you can also connect all your API keys and use it differently in Discord, Telegram, or wherever you prefer. You could use Claude Code, you can use Codex, and everything is totally fine. Let's not forget about Cursor. So it really depends on you and your setup and whatever is the easiest way for you. So this one, opening 1 million new tabs with different OpenCode AI agents, is definitely a good way how to solve it, but it really, in the end, depends on you. What am I recommending? Just try out OpenCode, open 5 different tabs, try to use different AI agents with different models, and from there you'll see if you like it or not. Tool number 3 I recommend is a speech-to-text tool. Typing long prompts and explanations to AI is slow and it's simply not natural. And voice input is, I read this somewhere on the internet, it is 3 to 4 times faster than just typing it in. So instead of typing in here, I want users to put their email and etc, 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 I'm going to use here speech to text. I have it available on Option plus space, that's my push to talk, and it sounds like this. I want users to put their email inside of some input. You can use input group from ShedCN to merge it with button. And I want that email to be saved inside of my database. And we can see here now that we pasted in our prompt and we can just continue from here. So after saving that email, send email notification directly to that user that he successfully signed up to something, some newsletter or something like that. And now when I press enter, we cannot see this prompt right here. So when we press it, we can see that that is exactly what I said. So I want users to put their email inside of some input. You can use input group, etc, etc, etc. And this is much faster and more natural. You're going to say more things definitely when you are doing your prompting like this. I can recommend you now many paid tools, but if you've been watching my channel, you know how much I support open source. So in this example, I used the free tool called Handy. And if you're not using already speech to text, this is more than enough to try it out and to introduce speech to text inside of your tech stack, because it is really important to learn how to use something like this. And it is so simple. You just install it. You have push to talk. I have it on Option plus space, that's the default, and you just speak, that goes to text, and that text is your prompt, and that's it. If you're not using speech to text, try it out. It is completely free, and I promise that it is going to change the way how you do things inside of your projects. Tool number 4 is Intelligent Clipboard Manager. As developers, we are copy pasting like crazy, and this is not only for AI coding, this is basically for everything. I'm using this for links and a bunch of stuff. So how many times you copied something and then you accidentally copy something else and you lost in Clipboard what you copied previously, so you need to find it again and to fight your way to type it again or something like that. So what I recommend for this is Raycast. And here we can just go to our clipboard history and we can see everything that we copied here inside of our history. So we have here, for example, OpenCode. I copied it. It is even opening here this Open Graph image, and we are seeing where we copied it from. We can see here source, cmux, content type link, title, URL, characters. So we can see basically everything inside of Raycast of the thing that we copied. And here we can just go right click and we can say paste to cmux, copy to clipboard, paste and keep window open. So we have a bunch of options, and Raycast is really an awesome tool, and I'm using free version. I'm not paying for Raycast yet. So you can do this also in your free version, and I really love Raycast. It's doing like so many things like simple math problems, and you can do basically everything here, and you could also store your prompts and things like that. So it is really good to have some quick solution like this, because I don't even have to use my mouse. Here I'm just going command space, I'm opening my clipboard history, and I'm just using arrows to go and just to copy this one, which is for example my resolution. I copy it and I put it directly here inside of my terminal. So your hands should be more on the keyboard than on your mouse, because here you are much faster. Try it out. I think this is really good thing to have inside of your stack. Fifth tool you need for AI coding, specifically if you're building front-end UI stuff, you need pre-built UI libraries. I'm talking about blocks. And here we are talking about ShadCN again, my favorite subject. I'll try to keep it simple. So we have two workflows. Workflow number one, you ask AI to create you a beautiful landing page for your X product. You need some kind of header, you need a hero section, you need a contact section, and then you need some footer. And then AI is going to ask you a bunch of questions. What do you need? Where do you want your button? Where do you want your links? Do you need this and that? What kind of colors to use? So many things, and it is going to burn you so many tokens to create something that is purple and ugly. Then we have workflow number two, where we are using pre-built blocks. I'm going to give you an example of one of the best libraries currently in the ShadCN ecosystem, and that is ShadCN blocks. So here we can go and choose between many awesome looking blocks. For example, this Hero 118, you can just tell your AI, use Hero 118, then for contact, use, for example, contact 21, and this is covering all the edge cases for all the resolutions, for both light and dark mode, for accessibility, and for all the design things that you are maybe not familiar with. So the final result that you can get literally from one prompt is this awesome looking landing page. I created this one literally in 10 minutes. I was not even using AI. I just picked 6 or 7 different blocks, sections, and I merged them like Lego. I was just going from top to bottom and creating my whole landing page. And it is working both in light and dark mode. It works in all resolutions. I don't have to think about anything. It is much cheaper to buy some UI premium library. I'm not telling you to buy it. There are many free options, but my point is that you would spend so many tokens to build a landing page like this, and it would be a one-time effort. So you would burn your tokens, you would get your landing page, but it is not reusable. And if you would buy some premium UI library, you could build whatever you want, like multiple projects. So do yourself a favor, use ShadCN, use pre-built blocks, use components, and it is going to be much better, and your UI is going to end up looking much better because other people are thinking about it and not you. Tool number 6 is to create for yourself some kind of knowledge management system. With AI coding, we're having a lot of planning sessions. Plan mode itself is not perfect, so that's why we need some long-term solution. You can see right here that I'm using Obsidian. And how am I using it? Here I just asked AI to create a plan to change the logo inside of my OrcDev project. And it created that plan directly inside of my Obsidian. So my agent has access to my Obsidian vault. And it created here a note with detailed plan what needs to happen. And this one is much easier for my human eyes to read. And it will not disappear like in plan mode. We can come back 10 days later and this OrcDev logo refresh plan will still be here. And we can read it whenever, and we can just execute from here. So now I can just copy this OrcDev logo refresh plan and I can tell to AI just execute this plan, and that's it. It's going to execute and to build me whatever I want. So Obsidian or any other tool like this, like Notion or something like that, it is much easier for you to keep all the things for your AI right here and to give access to your AI so it can follow up on all the rules and all the things that you are doing locally on your machine. This is especially good for automations. If you have some kind of OpenCode instance that is getting every day 9 a.m. all the trending news, you could write it inside of your Obsidian Vault in some notes like this. You could organize it, of course, a little bit better. And that is some kind of knowledge system for your agents. From there, you could ask your agent right here, hey, what are the trending news for last 10 days? And it knows exactly where to search for it. From your Obsidian Vault, because you are doing those trending news for the last 30 days and you have your own knowledge management system. Awesome thing, highly recommend it. And as tool number 7, I guess we need to talk about AI subscriptions. For all these tools you're seeing right here, you have to pay some kind of subscription. So what am I paying currently? For Claude Code, I'm giving $100 a month. Then for Codex, thank goodness I'm accepted inside of the open source program, so I have $200 plan for free, and I'm paying $20 for Cursor. And it's not like I need all three of these, it's more because of my YouTube channel. If you'd ask me which one do I recommend, I would definitely recommend Codex now. Currently, I think it is more stable and it has much better politics, unfortunately, than Claude. And I'm currently in the process of testing out various local models. Gemma 4 was out recently. It can be hosted on an iPhone, so that one is definitely interesting. I'm going to create a video about that one specifically when I test it out properly and when I can give you some valuable comments on that one. What's your current AI coding setup? Drop in the comments, I read every one.